Humans kill upwards of 100 million sharks every year. That's 274,000 every day, 11,000 every hour, and 3 every second. In contrast, sharks kill fewer than 10 people per year on average. Sharks aren't villains, they're actually not a big threat to humans. Scientists believe that most shark attacks are not intentional, and they're also critical for ecosystem health, but they're being killed at unbelievable rates. So why is this happening? Like with all exploitation of nature, it boils down to profit. The biggest culprit is industrial fishing. This is a practice that kills sharks both intentionally and unintentionally. Every year, millions of sharks are caught on accident in nets and on long lines that are targeting other fish like tuna and swordfish. This is called bycatch. Depending on the species and how they're handled, many of these sharks don't survive. On top of the unintentional bycatch, sharks are specifically targeted for their fins. An estimated 73 million sharks are killed each year by finning. So the practice of finning is extremely cruel and it's just totally messed up. So here's a quick trigger warning. So in the practice of finning, a shark is caught and then fishers take knives to cut off all of their fins. After they have the fins, they toss the live shark back into the ocean where it dies a slow and agonizing death. Imagine being thrown overboard with none of your limbs, sinking to the bottom of the ocean and dying of blood loss, drowning, or being eaten by something else. Just in the same way that industrial-scale agriculture facilitates the mass slaughter of livestock, industrial fishing does the same for sharks. This continues to happen because the shark finning industry is extremely lucrative. Just a pound of shark fin can be worth up to $500 US, and that number might grow. So why is shark fin valued so high? Part of it is because shark fin soup is considered to be a delicacy. It's viewed as a wealth and status symbol, and it's also used in some Chinese traditional medicine. But this does not mean that it is only an Asia problem. Framing shark finning as a cultural shortcoming is great for the industry because it shifts the blame onto the consumer. And this moves the blame away from the fishing corporations and the extensive export networks. Now, the exact rankings vary year to year, but China, Spain, Portugal, the United States, and Indonesia are usually among the top exporters of shark fins and meat. This is a worldwide operation. It is not just one region. Sadly, some shark fishing is still legal. However, there are several measures in place by the UN and individual governments that prohibit the fishing of vulnerable populations. Unfortunately, they're still heavily fished illegally. The illegal wildlife trade, which shark finning is a part of, is one of the largest criminal networks on Earth. It actually ranks among the top 4 illegal trades in the world alongside drugs, arms, and human trafficking. The sheer scale of this market and the massive profit that comes with it motivates people to continue illegally fishing, and it facilitates it. A really interesting study in 2025 collected DNA samples from over 20,000 shark fins that were found in Hong Kong fish markets. The researchers found that several protected shark species were commonly being traded, even though this wasn't being reported. The gap between what's being reported on paper versus what's actually happening is massive. Somewhere in the supply chain, probably in multiple spots, people aren't reporting the sharks that they're catching. This is not just poaching, this is fraud, and it's happening at a worldwide industrial scale. Fishing companies are filing paperwork saying they're not fishing protected sharks, but those same sharks' fins are being seen in markets around the world. The system is not being circumvented, the system is allowing it to happen. Labeling a species as protected under a certain UN framework is clearly not enough to stop illegal fishing. And as long as shark fin remains $500 per pound, it's going to stay that way. To me, this shows that while some government intervention can be useful, the profit motive is always going to outweigh the law. When nature is viewed as a resource that can be extracted, our world is going to suffer.